I'm going to tell you one piece of information about narcissists that will change how you interact with them. This piece of information is going to minimize the pain that they cause. So let's start with, what is a narcissist? This word gets thrown around a lot, and there is a spectrum of narcissism. At one end, there's a narcissistic personality disorder. This is a clinical diagnosis, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about the folks who have strong narcissistic traits. If you're here, you know who I'm talking about. At a very general level, narcissists consistently believe that they know best and that nobody else does. Fun, right? Narcissists are people who think that they uniquely know what is right. They believe they know best, period. And this sets them up to consistently feel better than other people. Narcissists are often superior, cocky, and brash. They believe that they're the most important person in the room. In their minds, because they are so amazing and so special, they deserve to be the focus of attention, and they deserve special treatment. Actually, they demand special treatment. They will often manipulate people and situations to get what they want, because they believe that they should get what they want, because they are the most important person in any room, and they know what's best for everyone. Know anybody like that? But a narcissist can also not be any of these things. Some narcissists just believe that they know best without also being arrogant and entitled. They have a different kind of feel to them. Most narcissists are controlling. They need things to go the right way all the time. They try to control the narrative, telling people what is true and what's not. They can be extremely charismatic when they want to be, and this is part of them controlling the narrative by controlling what you think about them. So you're obviously easier to manipulate if you think that they're as wonderful as they think they are. When they have a reason to, when they want something from you, a narcissist can make you feel so special, like you're the center of the universe. When a narcissist shines their light on you, you feel it, and it feels amazing. However, they can also make you feel like the smallest piece of dirt that doesn't deserve any respect or love. If you don't serve a purpose for them in that moment, they're not going to bother pretending. When we're interacting with a narcissist, it feels like we're being treated like an object, not like a person with a right to their own feelings, opinions, and beliefs. And that's because we are being treated like an object. Narcissists are completely self-focused, right? They're either unable to or uninterested in putting themselves in anybody else's shoes. In their mind, why would they? Nobody else's experience is relevant, so what would be the point? If you can't or won't put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you're not going to have the capacity for empathy or compassion. And this is absolutely true of narcissists. They can't or won't imagine that somebody who's in pain didn't deserve it, for example, because if that person had just done the right thing, they wouldn't have been in pain. We're getting to the important piece of information that will change how you interact with the narcissists in your life. Relationships are transactional for narcissists. That means that relationships aren't based on connection or mutual support like they are for most of us. For a narcissist, relationships are about getting what you want from the other person. That's it. Narcissists only spend energy on people who can give them what they want. Narcissists aren't interested in what you think or what you need. They don't give any credence to your experience. In their mind, there's no point because you're not as important as they are, and you never will be. There's really nothing else about you that actually matters to them. In other words, and this is the piece of information that's going to change how you interact with your narcissist, your only value to them is in what you can do for them. Doesn't matter if you're their friend, their daughter, or their spouse. There's no point in arguing with them on this or in trying to change it. Anything you say is going to be automatically disregarded as irrelevant because it's different than what they believe. Hard stop. So let me say that again. The only value you have to the narcissist is what you can do for them. They're not interested in your pain. They're not interested in making you feel better. They're not interested in validating you. They're not interested in you. They're not interested in growing a relationship. They're not interested in compromise, mutuality, or taking turns. They are interested only in themselves. That's it. And none of this is likely to change. Since they think they know everything and they're the smartest person in the room at all times, there would be no reason to change. There would be no reason to listen to your experience of them or to care if they hurt you. Some narcissists who are on the lower end of the spectrum may be willing to listen and try to change. So I'm not saying that no one ever changes who are narcissists, but it's relatively unlikely. So given all of this, given that you don't have any actual relational value to a narcissist, let's change the energy that you put into these relationships. Let's work on detaching from trying to have relational relationships with them. That often starts with expectations and acceptance. So stop expecting them to change. Accept that they are going to show up as themselves, because inevitably they will. Expecting them to be different, expecting them to listen to you, to respect your experience, that's a big waste of time. They're only going to act interested in you and respectful of you if you can do something for them. For example, if you can tell them how great they are, or if you do their dirty work, or if you give them special treatment, then they'll be interested in you. But of course, none of that has anything to do with what you need and what you want. It's all about them. You can't impact that. You can't impact them because, again, they see your needs and your thoughts and your wants and your feelings as irrelevant. No matter how they're acting in the moment, they don't value you for you. And you have no control over that. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing you do is going to make a difference because it's all about them. If you accept this and expect this, you're going to start engaging with them differently. You'll stop taking what they say and do personally. You'll stop wasting your energy trying to get them to see your side of things. You'll stop feeling guilty when they're disappointed or upset with you, recognizing that it actually has nothing to do with you. You're not going to please a narcissist unless you do everything exactly how they want it all the time. In a relationship with a narcissist, there's just no room for you. The only way that you make room for yourself in a relationship with a narcissist is through boundaries. You can make decisions about what you talk about, how long you talk, not allowing verbal abuse or any other kind of abuse, and whatever other types of boundaries keep you from getting hurt by them, or at least minimize the hurt. When you set and enforce boundaries, the narcissist isn't going to like it. They don't want you to have any control over the narrative, so when you set a boundary, they're going to get angry, and they're probably going to punish you in whatever way they do. So expect that. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It just means that you're prioritizing yourself out loud, and they don't like it. Once you stop expecting to get what you need from a narcissist, and I mean things like basic respect, empathy, validation, care, once you stop expecting those things, you'll do whatever you need to do to make your interactions with a narcissist short and sweet, or at least short. When I do these videos on communicating with a narcissist, I get a lot of comments saying that the best thing to do is to just stop having the relationship with the narcissist. I get that. If it's possible, that can be the best option, but it's not always possible. Sometimes the person that I'm talking to is a minor living with their narcissistic parent, or they have an elderly narcissistic parent and they're the only caretaker for that person. Sometimes the person has a narcissistic boss or coworker that they just can't not communicate with. And sometimes the person loves the narcissist and is willing to have some level of relationship. Whatever the reason is that you have to or choose to interact with a narcissist, when you accept that they're only focused on you doing what they want you to do, you stop fighting to get them to treat you differently. It's so helpful to stop wasting so much energy trying to get them to treat you differently. When you do interact with a narcissist, gray rocking is the recommended communication format. It puts you, not the narcissist, in charge. So be prepared that it's not going to go over well. But that's not the point. We're not trying to make the narcissist feel good. That is an endless, thankless task that keeps us focused on the narcissist instead of ourselves. It's time to focus on ourselves and our needs. The narcissist is never going to do it, so we have to. And gray rocking helps. Gray rocking means being as concise and unemotional as possible in what you say when you're talking with a narcissist. You want to be like a rock. Don't give them anything that will fuel their fire. So give short, yes or no answers. Don't go into any explanations or justifications. They don't matter to a narcissist, and they're only going to be used against you. Narcissists don't like being gray rocked, so they will often get fired up. Again, expect this and don't react to it. Stick with your boundaries and continue to be as logical and unemotional as possible. That's just the best we can do with a narcissist. We can't make them value us for us, and we can't make them not act up, especially if we're asserting our needs. So the best thing we can do is minimize the damage they do. If we know that the only value we have to a narcissist is transactional, it will help us to understand their perspective. Sometimes that's helpful in getting us to detach from how they're acting. If we're feeling guilty or taking it personally, we're still attached to trying to have a relationship with them. So the next time you interact with a narcissist, be aware of their transactional perspective and expect them to act accordingly. Don't try to get them to be different. It's a waste of time. Keep your end of the communication as short and unemotional as possible. It's not going to be fun, but this is the best we can do. And then move on. After the interaction, let it go and move on. Don't let it stick around in your space. Focus on things you do have more control over, like what action you can take to feel better. Maybe reaching out to a friend or watching a show or going for a walk. Focus on whatever feels meaningful to you. And let me say this, it may be a painful loss. Once you accept that the narcissist is likely to not want a relational relationship with you, it may be a loss to not ever get to have the relationship that you want with this person. That's so fair. The kindest thing you can do for yourself is make room for that loss. It's real. You aren't going to get what you need from this narcissist. I hope this video has been helpful. I'm Dr. Suzanne Manser. I'm a clinical psychologist and therapist and the daughter of a narcissistic mother. I wrote about my relationship with her in my self-help memoir, I Hate You, a love letter to my mother, healing paper cuts, mother wounds, and intergenerational pain. I didn't know how to minimize the damage when I interacted with my mom, and it impacted how I felt about myself and how I lived my life, until I started figuring out how to change. If you have a narcissist in your life, check out my other videos about interacting with narcissists, and follow me for more tips on improving your life.